Happy Friday. It is Friday, June 23rd, 2023. The first day of Chattanooga Film Fest. Oops, I'm dropping my phone. That's the note we're starting this video on. It's about 6:30-ish, 6 o'clock, 6:30-ish. So I'm gonna head down to breakfast and see what they have. As far as hot, ready-made foods went, they had scrambled eggs and sausage, so I got both of those. And I got a banana and a cup of water and some coffee. I put a little bit of hazelnut creamer in it. Originally, I was gonna plan out some cute outfits for the festival and have well, I don't really know how to do my hair, but I was gonna, I was gonna do, bring my makeup and do my nail polish. And then at the last minute, when I was starting to put stuff together on Wednesday night, I was walking around my house like a zombie. I was so tired, and I decided I wasn't even gonna worry about the makeup and the nail polish because it's really only 3 full days that I'm here. 8:22 on Saturday, June 24th, 2023. Yesterday was a lot of fun. I got to the venue at around 9 o'clock, 9:30, and I couldn't figure out on my own like where the elevators were because they had a lot of loud music playing in the lobby downstairs. So I couldn't hear the elevators. So I eventually found the front desk and I had someone walk me up, to where to catch the elevators to the second floor to where everybody was. And the directions weren't as straightforward as they made it out to be. I was under the impression that it was just like you get off the elevator and you head to the left and everybody's right there, but the hotel was actually kind of a maze. So I got there and I checked in with the volunteer coordinator, and the morning was kind of just pretty chill, and then in the afternoon it picked up. I did a mix of box office and ushering throughout the whole day. So the box office stuff was selling popcorn and sodas and water and shirts and posters and helping find people's badges and hand them out. And there are 2 iPads that people are using. I'm not familiar with iPads. I kind of quickly looked through the settings on the program they're using to find accessibility settings, and I didn't find them. I'm guessing if I wanted to, I could try to figure out the accessibility settings on the iPad, but I mean, there's usually like a mix of like 4 or 5 people kind of, taking the initiative and using both of these iPads whenever they need them. So I don't know, like there's part of me that doesn't really want to enlarge the font because I feel like that would, or magnify or whatever, because I feel like that might annoy these people. So I'm not using any accommodations for the iPad myself. I'm just kind of letting them use it because it would be quicker. And so the ushering part of it is keeping count of the amount of people going in. One thing they do differently at this festival than at the other one at Overlook that I've helped with is they also count the amount of people going out. And then the volunteers go in and check to see if there's anything on the floor that needs to be picked up. And one of the volunteers tried to point out to me, she was like, "Oh, there's a gummy bear on the floor." And I'm like, "Okay, can you pick that up? Because that's too small for me to see." Anyway, so it was a lot of fun. I stayed there all day, and I got to say hi to my friend Scott. He was quickly, heading in to go see this movie, Satan Wants You, which I've seen not too long ago at one of the online film festivals. It's a good documentary. And I got to talk a little bit to Phil Nobile Jr. from Fangoria, so that was nice. The last time I saw him was at Overlook, and we kind of just, I don't know, he was mostly chatting with someone else then, and so we just kind of quickly said hi and bye, but this time we had an actual conversation, so that was nice. And so I stayed until my last shift ended at 10:30. And the volunteer who was helping out at that time was a guy who had driven in from Georgia. I don't remember his name, but somehow the staff member, Grover, got on the subject of Joe, like he mentioned Joe Bob, and the guy volunteering, he didn't know who Joe Bob was. So Grover and I were trying to fill him in. And then Grover decided to turn on Shudder because the last drive-in was on. They were showing Sharknado. And it was a good thing that they had that on, because it actually gave the audience, like when they were coming out of that film that they were watching, it gave them another reason to approach us at the box office to talk to us, because, you know, they would hear Joe Bob's voice as they were leaving, and they would come over to the box office and they were like, oh, what movies are Joe Bob showing tonight? So we were like, oh, Sharknado, and not sure what else. The guys helped me find my lift, and I'll be honest, I was kind of nervous. Like, the later the lift ride is and the longer it is, especially when I'm in an unfamiliar city, I'm nervous. But I've actually, within the last couple weeks, I've gotten better at clicking on the picture of the Lyft driver to see how many rides they've had and what their rating is. But primarily I'm looking to see how long they've been driving and how many rides they've accumulated. Because there have been times where I have not checked, and, you know, I'll get in the car with a Lyft, a driver, and they'll tell me, oh, you're my first ride ever. You're my first passenger ever. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, please bring me to where you're supposed to bring me, you know? It's 8 minutes until noon. I checked in with Sam around 9 o'clock to see if they needed any extra hands. And it sounds like everything was taken care of at the moment, so they didn't need me. So he suggested I sleep in a bit. So I took a nap, and I woke up. I must have been really tired and not realized it, because I woke up at 11:30. So yeah, so I'm gonna hang out here and head to the Reed house a little before 1 o'clock. You know, it takes 15 minutes to get there, but you know, that's not counting waiting for Lyft, so you gotta factor that time into it. I also made the suggestion to Sam that if they aren't doing so already, they might want to station 1 or 2 volunteers downstairs at the Reed house, because a lot of people have been getting confused as to where the films are showing on the 2nd floor and how to get there. So I said, if you station 1 or 2 volunteers on the 1st floor to bring people up, that'll help curb the guests' confusion, and it'll help alleviate some of the interruptions that the hotel staff are getting. So they're going to be implementing that. The staff at the film festival is absolutely exceptional. I was in the volunteer slash filmmaker lounge with them yesterday, and you know, I'm typically really quiet because I don't I don't really know what to say, or if people are gonna even listen to what I have to say and respond to it or anything, so I just don't usually say anything. But it was interesting listening to them yesterday, because like they were just like very quick-witted and like bantering back and forth and making movie references and doing impressions and all kinds of stuff. It's very cool. You know, I'm guessing their parents must have been encouraging of it, whereas my mom was a strict elementary school teacher, so, you know, like, one joke, like, she kind of tolerated. Anything beyond that, no, you're being too silly, Christina. So, for a lot of reasons, I just flat out learned to be quiet and, you know, kind of stay out of the way and not intrude and everything. Sunday, June 25th, 2023. Same breakfast as Friday. I originally thought this was sausage, but when I bit into it the other day on Friday, it's ham. So I have scrambled eggs and ham here, coffee, water, and a banana. And yesterday's breakfast, which I didn't get a chance to show you, I had scrambled eggs and a biscuit. It's a little after 8:30. I'm about to head to my last day of volunteering. Also, it's the last day of the film festival. And so I got there yesterday around 1 o'clock. It was the time that Grady Hendrix was doing his one-man show, and they had a pretty good crowd for that one. I think it was about 130 people, I want to say. So they saw him do his live show, and then most of the people, you know, stuck around and lined up and got him to sign their books. And from what I heard, he doesn't just sign people's books. Like, he'll have like a full-on conversation with people and write a lengthy message in their books. So that's really nice. And then after that, I'll admit I was feeling a tad bit overwhelmed by the crowd, because I wasn't prepared for that it was going to be the first thing I walked into for the day. So I went and I just grabbed like a tall caramel ribbon crunch frappuccino from Starbucks. And then, man, pretty much yesterday I just spent my time at the box office. The most crowded event we had was the premiere of Sour Party. And there was myself and a girl who were working the box office table. But you know, the cool thing about yesterday is we kind of had it down to a system. Like I think at this point people realize that I really can't see the iPad and, you know, the cash register well enough to quickly deal with those, especially if there's a crowd. So I would be the one grabbing the merch and or the concessions for people, and someone else, you know, a sighted person would be handling the cash register and the payments through the iPad. So it worked out really well. That was pretty much the system for the day. But we only had 2 of us running the box office during Sour Party, and I feel like we really could have used a 3rd person. It kind of made me think ahead to, I'm sure today we're gonna have some really busy events, and I think it would have helped yesterday if we had had 2 people running the iPads and 1 person getting the concessions. The box office is such a tight little space that I feel like if you have 2 people running the iPads and 2 people up grabbing concessions, I think the 2 people grabbing concessions might end up running into one another. So I think 3 is a good amount to have. So we were getting really, really slammed with just tons of people. I think there was over 200 people there for the Sour Party premiere, and it, you know, it was loud and crowded and people just constantly coming up, and we were running out of cold water, so we had to get and then, you know, there were also people just kind of waiting in line needing to get their badges or their tickets. So I went on Discord and I wrote a quick message on Discord, you know, just to the general volunteer population and staff, and I said, hey, we're gonna need backup at the box office. So it's a bit much right now. So somebody came over and helped us, and we got through that. And one of the other big events yesterday that a lot of people were going to was the boat party. I didn't go. People have been very sweet and they've, you know, extended invites to me to go to the parties, but I'm not a party girl, you know. It's just not my thing. And, you know, I hope people have a safe, fun time. So we shall see what today brings. It's 9 o'clock at night, and I didn't stay until the very end of CFF. I decided to ask if I could leave a little bit early because I do have a flight that leaves at 7 a.m. tomorrow, so I gotta be at the airport for 5. And as y'all know, I was a tad bit uncomfortable leaving after dark the last couple of nights just because I don't know the area, and, you know, I always get strangers driving me around, so it's still daylight outside and it's 9 o'clock. It's nice. But yeah, today was another fun-filled day. I got there around 9:30-ish, 10 o'clock-ish, and mostly helped out. Yeah, I don't even think I helped usher at all today. I think I was mostly just kind of either hanging out or helping out at the box office. And you know, lunch and dinner the last couple of nights have been great. I mean, we've had tacos, burgers, pizza a few nights. I don't mind a few nights of pizza. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I don't know. I don't really know where to go with that other than just to say I feel like this year was a really successful year, and I'm hoping they can get the Reed House again as a venue next year. And thank you so much to Sam, the volunteer coordinator. Thanks to Tia. I don't exactly know what her role is at the film festival this year, but she still helps out. And Grover, who is running the box office, and of course Chris Storch, who is the festival director. So This has been a lot of fun, and I'm gonna go ahead and end the vlog here, even though technically I'm still in my hotel room, but as I said, I have an early flight tomorrow, so I hope you all enjoyed the vlog, and I'll see you next time.